Here we go. We're here at the Porn Stars People podcast. This is episode 7.
Nice.
In Las Vegas. Because I've never met you in person, I'm just going to guess from reading all of your name everywhere. It's Ariana Marie. All right, we got it. I'm with Ariana Marie. I'm such a professional host. I knew how to pronounce my guest name. What a garbage person I am. Dan Frigolette here hosting episode 7. Thank you for coming. Thank you for
having me.
Getting on a plane to be here.
I was coming back today, but I mean, I was visiting Mother's Day.
It was Mother's Day. Yeah, what'd you do?
We went on the boat and everything.
Okay, very cool.
I missed Mother's Day last year.
What's the big thing that you guys do?
My parents are like super chill. They just like have their beers on the weekend and like go out to an island and just like hang out. So that's what we did.
They're boat people.
Yeah,
I fucking love boat people.
Yeah.
My parents were boat people for a little bit. So I'm a comedian. When I play the middle of the country, everybody, like boat people, trailer people, motorcycle people, they're all the same people. They're just people. They just want to go somewhere, drink. They all have beer bellies. I love those people, and they all just say racist, sexist, dumb shit that they believed when they were a kid. You know, they're just like, you can't eat a lot of fat, and they're just like eating just like hamburger rolls by themselves. You know, just dumb shit that like doesn't make any sense. I love those people. Yeah. They're very real people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that your parents are just fat morons that eat hamburger rolls.
No, my dad is like a stick. I think that's where I get my figure from, honestly. Like, and my mom's like short and petite, but my dad's like tall and skinny.
Yeah, genetics play a ton.
Yeah. So.
Thank God. I have so many people that are friends of mine where the better looking one of them came out in their kids. Genetics always wins, you know.
Yeah.
And not having the ugly kid is always the move. So so Tampa. So what the hell are you doing living in Vegas?
Well, work is out here, so it's just easier to be on this side of the coast. But yeah, I mean, I was living in Florida for like the first 2 years that I was in the industry, and then met my husband and moved out to California. That's where he was living at the time. And then we were like, LA's not really it wasn't really my thing. I'm from Florida and everything.
It's a very specific kind of lifestyle.
Yeah. I wasn't used to it at all. Like I did 6 months in LA and
that's
I was
it.
Like, yeah.
Wow.
Like we signed a year lease and I was like, no, we're breaking the lease early.
We're out.
So we moved to Vegas and it's just kind of like a happy medium.
No shit.
I mean, there's industry people out here, but they all kind of keep to themselves.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we are.
Yeah.
And
that's I guess that's what's cool about Vegas is that because they put everything in like one spot, there's kind of a lifestyle to that. It's like when you go to like the strip, you go to the big thing, you're like, here's the show. And then everything else you're like, no, I'm in the suburbs. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm home. I'm not in there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, why would you want to live in Vegas? Because they say the strip and everything. Yeah. I'm like, well, I don't live on the strip. I live in the suburbs. And
I don't know that I've seen how people live in Vegas. That's always my goal when I go to a place is to not go to like the busy spot. Like try to figure out what it is to just like be in that town. And it's really, what's very interesting is how the same everywhere is. Anchorage, Alaska, Oklahoma City, Huntsville, Alabama. I mean, same thing. People living in the suburbs near an Applebee's. That's pretty much what life is.
Yeah. I like it out here. I mean, it's a little dry. Yeah. And, Florida, I mean, I was just there in Florida, so I'm like, I'm like dying. It's like humid and everything. But,
gross.
Then I'm like, it's dry here, so it's not too bad. And it gets cold here, too. So it's like.
Right. Because we're in the middle of the desert. And the sunsets are gorgeous. Yeah, it's good. And just flying in, I flew over some of the craziest terrain I've ever seen. It makes me just want to get in a car and just drive in like a direction and like
I
want to
go to the Grand Canyon.
Have you've never been to the Grand Canyon?
I've never been. I've like flown over it and everything, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to go there so bad. Yeah. So like we haven't done that yet, but that's like on our little to-do list.
Yeah, that's close enough.
It's like I think it's like 2, maybe 4 hours away, I think. I'm not sure.
It's like 2 9 hours away. You know what I mean? It's like, within one of those 10 numbers.
I'm okay with doing that though.
No, it's close-ish. I mean, this is where you start. You here or last March, I went from here and I was going to Phoenix. So we went Hoover Dam, Grand Canyon just a little out of the way, and then Phoenix to end the day. So it's not a difficult drive. Yeah.
I've heard Lake Havasu is really cool.
Yes, that's where my buddy was from. Yeah, I love that place.
I heard so many people say such good things about it. So it's another thing. We're like,
that's a good place. Good place. I was Googling, what was I doing? I was Googling all the nuclear test sites this morning. I was looking at satellite images of 2 hours away from here where we dropped all the test atomic bombs.
Oh my gosh.
I went down the loophole, the rabbit hole of all the nuclear stuff. It was crazy. Oh, it's right in my face. So I think I'm being Snapchatted or something right now, or Periscoped or something. Oh, I was telling you a second ago. You basically broke my Twitter. So I'm just a lowly comedian from New York. I got a couple of Twitter followers. Like when I tweet about something that happens to me, the biggest thing that happens is my mom calls me and she's like, "Did you try to rent a car today? What are all these nasty tweets about?" But you said I'm going to do Pornstar People podcast, and it got like 100 likes in like 4 minutes, and I went to just like start liking some of the stuff, and Twitter was like, "No, something's wrong.
Like,
somebody must have hacked your account because this doesn't make any sense. You've gotten a max of one retweet."
Twitter.
You broke my Twitter. Maybe I'll get verified finally. Get on it, Twitter.
I know. I'm trying to get verified.
You're not even verified?
No.
That doesn't make any sense.
I think I'm going to be soon. Hopefully.
That doesn't make any sense. So thank you for breaking my Twitter. It's the most impact my Twitter has ever had. I feel good about it. So yeah, okay. So you were pitching me even before you agreed to this. You were pitching me the swingers convention this weekend, which I've found out they won't let me in. I'm a unicorn dude. I'm gonna have to go pay some woman on the side of the road to come with me, because they don't let dudes in because we're just horrible creatures.
You know what?
Who mark our territory with fluids.
It's so funny. I was telling my husband just a few weeks ago or something like that. I was like, you know what? I don't know why like single guys aren't allowed in, but single women are allowed in.
You do know why.
Well, I mean, I know why, but at the same time, I'm like, girls could be just like them.
Skeevy?
You know?
No, it's so much harder for a girl to be creepy. It really is.
Yeah, so, but, he pointed that out, too, and everything. And I'm like, okay, I understand what you're talking
about. You could be John Stamos sitting in a bar by yourself. If you look at a girl for, 1 second too long, you're immediately creepy. It takes very little time to go from, cool person to creepy dude. It's the easiest transition. We're awful. We're awful people. And don't say not me, whoever's listening, because it's you too.
And don't say no.
It's definitely you too. So.
But it's gonna be fun.
So what happens? So give us a big an outline in our head. What would happen?
It's pretty much like my first time going, I was so overwhelmed because I was
really?
it was 2,000 swingers there, and it was my first time. I had never been in that situation before. But everyone is so nice and non-judgmental and everything. And everyone's just there to just kind of mingle. I mean, obviously people are there to hook up with other people. Right. But me and my husband, we went and we were just making friends left and right. Yeah. And we didn't hook up with I think we hooked up with 1 or 2 couples, and that was it. Yeah. But everyone's just very welcoming, and just wants to kind of make friendships and
that's
all
what's
that.
cool about those communities. I played, and it sounded like a weird thing ahead of time, but we played a nudist, not a colony, but just basically a nudist group in St. Louis. We did the show. And they kept telling us to take our clothes off. And we were like, look, comedy doesn't get better when you take your clothes off. Plus, there's I might have a joke or two where I'm air humping, and that's not going to be good for the thing, So we went and did this. And what was really cool was there was nothing sexual about the nudist group. Mm-hmm. They were just, being nude is a part of life. Yeah. And it's just and it's an acceptance thing, which I thought was really cool. And there was some crossover. There was people that were in the fetish group, and there's some people in the BDSM group. But for the most part, it's just about a community. What was very interesting was that I don't know, when you're at a party, all the small talk is so what do you do?
Yeah.
And for some reason, when you take your clothes off, nobody asks you what you do anymore.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting. People just get to relate better somehow.
Yeah. The only thing with me being in the industry, I've caught this a lot when we go to parties. We'll meet a couple on one of the lifestyle sites, and then we'll be like, oh yeah, we're gonna come hang out with you guys, and then they know that I'm in the industry, and so right away they just want to ask me a bunch of questions about how what is it like and all that stuff. And like I'm okay with like, you know, going through it, but but at the end of it, I'm like, I feel like I'm a piece of meat.
Yeah, you just gotta say what you gotta say to somebody eventually, because like it's the same thing when like as a comedian, people don't get it. It's like how much do you want to talk about your job, accountant guy? Like you don't want to talk about your job. I don't want to talk about my job. You know, anything else should be on the table.
Yeah. But I mean, like, you know, people are interested. I get it. It's not like it's not like a normal job, you know. Right. So I know people are like have their questions and everything. So I'm fine with answering it. But I'm just like, man, how many parties are we gonna go to? And like, I feel like
same.
You know?
And then it's like when you know when you're in trouble when you start coming up with canned responses because you know the questions are going to be the same. Yeah. And then you already have the answer before they ask it. So. Yeah. So that's cool. So that should be fun. That should be a fun thing. You said that's once a year. So I got here at the right time, but I
you didn't bring a person.
No,
to
you know,
go
and what's funny is I started. So I was on the road for 60 days right before this 2 weeks ago. So I did a road trip 60 days. So every year I do a big road trip. 2 years ago, drove to Alaska. Last year, drove from Vegas back to New York. This year, basically went to Albuquerque and then back to New York. From New York, Albuquerque, and back.
Oh my God.
So I started that trip in an open relationship with a young lady, and we were really trying to figure out how to make that work. And she was from Vegas, from Reno, so this would have been a perfect transition for us to figure it out. But what happened was, I don't think we knew how to make the rules. I don't think we really both understood what the open relationship thing was. So she felt like I was having more opportunities to participate than she was, which, for what I was doing, makes sense. Now she's going to travel for a couple months, and I figure she'll end up with the same opportunities. But it became this fairness argument, which I think is what sort of ended up tainting the whole thing, and we both ended up having to sort of call it quits. So let me pitch you. How do you handle that level of things? Now you guys are obviously, you live together, you live in the same place, so you're probably not separated for chunks of time, maybe like we were. But how do you handle open, like what does it mean to be in that? And then
well, for us it's just like, you know, when we first got together, I didn't know anything about swingers or didn't have any education like behind it all. So I was a little judgmental at the beginning, and then I actually went and saw a sex therapist, and she educated me on like, you know, being in an open relationship and all this different stuff. And that's when I went to my first swingers party, which was here at the party that we're going to be going to this weekend. I mean, you just have to have secureness within your relationship and, you know, be honest. And, you know, even though you may think that the other person might get mad, it's still the right thing to do is to tell them like what had happened. So like I went home. This is a good example. Like I just went home. I saw a bunch of friends that I went to high school with and everything. I hooked up with two
some
people.
old feelings pop in. Yeah, for sure. I remember when you were on the team. Remember you dunked on that guy?
And you know, the first thing I do is call him and tell him like, hey, this is what I did. And he doesn't get mad at me. He's just like, oh, was it fun?
How was it? Yeah.
So, and that gives me, you know, the reassurance that he's not going to be upset with me if I'm honest with him. Now, if I would have done that and came home a day later and told him, he probably wouldn't have been too happy.
And I think that's the whole thing, is the communication, figuring out the rules. So for our rules, what we had tried to do was, when it happens, tell each other. So I would tell her, but then each time I would tell her something happened. And the weird thing was, because I had met her right before, I think that the biggest failure that we did was that I had met her right before I left. Like I had met her, we didn't know each other very long, and I was like, listen, I'm leaving. We can either just not be in a thing, call it something, and then I can't really promise because I'm going on this trip, and I kind of made some arrangements with some people. Then there might be some expectation there, or we can try something in between, and where it's an open thing and we kind of discuss stuff. So kind of what happened was she just started kind of keeping tally.
Oh yeah.
And then it started to feel like the whole thing was kind of like in my favor or something like that. And then so that was a hard conversation to try to like field.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because it was like, I get that, you're where you are and it's whatever, and then we kind of manufactured an experience for her, which was her hooking up with an ex who supposedly didn't have feelings for each other. She did that. It was terrible for her. Called me to call the whole thing off, and I was like, but I'm like, it's still really good here. Like, I'm still like getting to know a lot of people. Like, this is a lot of fun. So it just kind of ended the whole thing.
Like, the rules I feel like are important, but at the same time, it's just like you can't. I mean, you do have to like we try to balance it. Like, if I go hook up with someone, then he has to go hook up.
So there is a little bit of a tit for tat, and that's fair.
A little bit, but not so much. Like, we don't.
It's not like revenge.
Right. Like, it's not like, oh well, you just like did 2 dudes while you're on vacation. Yeah. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna do 3 now. Or
I gotta go get 3. Obviously, we know that dudes cost more than women, so now I need 3. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I mean, we definitely try to keep it at a good balance and stuff, just so that like one person's not being neglected or anything like that. So.
So I guess it's back to the whole thing where it's the communications whole thing, and I think we're still like I think we're all really stuck, even when we're open-minded in this world where we're just like, no, it's a man and a woman, and that's the whole thing, and it's just like, and it's partnership, and I think that's what makes a lot of this hard, because it's like, anytime you feel a certain way about something, then you just kind of go back to, like, I don't know, your parents' relationship, and like people your grandparents, like in the 50s,
Right.
And you're like, my grandparents weren't even happy, like, what like they were just together and divorced, like dad lived in the den, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, that's why, like, I think I was so against it, like, when we first got together, because I was not trained, but like,
sounds weird to the ear.
My parents were like, no, you be with one person and that's who you're with.
The dream.
And
the Disney dream.
Yeah, right. But I think, in reality, people are always going to be attracted to other people, and there's always going to be that, like, spontaneous thing that you want to go do, but it's just like.
Well, here's the thing, and I think this is where this was like the clinching piece for me and this girl in New York was, I think we'd both been cheated on, so it's kind of one of these things where it's like, it's gonna happen. Like, if you bump into that situation, it's gonna happen. So would we rather have it happen and then you feel like you have to lie about it because you feel like the whole relationship's riding on it, or do you feel like it happens and then you can tell the other person because you've decided as a team that that's something that you can both be involved in, and that's that was supposed to be the
definitely upside. Like, something that was like an eye-opener to me. I was like, well, I could, when he told me that he was into the whole swinger thing, I'm like, okay, well, let me think about this for a second. Like, you could want to go meet a girl and have sex with her or whatever, and not tell me, or we could be in, like, I don't know, for some reason, like, every time I say open relationship, it makes me feel like he's not, like, mine.
Well, and I think people don't understand that either.
So I feel like people get that a little confused,
and for some reason I think swinger sounds worse on people's brains too. Because that just feels like it's just two people just like going to a parking lot and fucking everybody they see.
I mean, like, when you think swinger, well, way before I was even educated on it, I was just like, oh, those are people that just go around, like, having sex with everybody.
Yeah, their dicks are out everywhere. It's just a bunch of dicks out. Why are there all these dicks out?
But I definitely
it's a much more tame environment than I thought, and it's a much more it feels like a logical thing, honestly.
And, like, I mean, people are respectful and stuff. I mean, I sometimes I've been in situations where I feel like a little piece of meat hanging there in front of people or whatever. But for the most part, everyone that we engage with is very respectful, and if we don't want to, like, play with them, they're okay with it. Like, no one takes it personal. Few people have, but but
Well, I mean, that's what relationships and sex are anyway. You get you get some of your house, and then all of a sudden with the XP, and all of a sudden you're like, man, you smell. Or whatever it is, you're like, I'm just not into it. And then people's feelings get hurt all the time. That's regardless of swinger, open, gay, straight, whatever. That happens. That's happening right now. There's somebody in a hotel room right now with another person. They're like, hey, I just can't do this. I can't do this. And we all feel rejected. So it happens all the time. So that's cool. So that's fun. I'm glad that you guys both agreed to do this, and I'm glad that you guys we were gonna maybe try to do it a little together, a little separate. But I was like, if I get you guys separate, I think we get a little honest read on it and cool.
I was telling him, I was like, we've never done, I don't think, an interview like separately before, so it's different. So it's cool.
I'm also just like I'm not like a podcast pro, so I don't know if I can handle both of you.
I know, right?
So I was like, let me
This is cool.
So yeah, so this is cool. So okay, so this is my second time in Vegas. I don't know any Vegas secrets yet.
I don't know any really either.
Like I'm staying at a hotel that shouldn't cost what it costs, and so even what comes with that is I can't even get 6 oysters for a reasonable price. So like I know some of the secrets in New York, so I haven't figured out Vegas. I'm like. And because I haven't figured it out, I'm just like, fuck that place, man.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm not smart enough to navigate it, so I just want to like avoid it.
Well, I mean, there are some good restaurants here, but
now if I go off strip, can I find quality?
I mean.
Or do you guys come to the strip to eat?
No, I mean like we kind of stay over on our side.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even on the strip, I mean, there's a lot of good places to eat, but again, it's a strip, so it's gonna be like overpriced.
For nothing, yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite restaurants here on the strip is Hex.
Okay, where's that?
It's at the Paris. It's right there. Really good food.
Nice.
So good, and they have like a chocolate thing. So I'm like,
what's the thing? So you can dunk. You just did a face. You can dunk your face in it?
No,
you
just
motion like you just dunk your head in it.
I just want to live in there.
Chocolate.
No, they just have
so
like
basically it's a golden corral, is what you're saying.
A golden corral. Yeah. No, they they make their own chocolate there or something like that. So it's really good. Yeah. But I don't know. I had my birthday dinner there.
Okay, nice. Nice.
I'm obsessed with like Caesar salads. They have pretty good Caesar salads.
Okay, what? What do you mean you're obsessed with? How can you be obsessed with Caesar salad? You're like they figured it out. They figured out what a salad is.
I mean, have you ever gone to a place where you're not like you order like a Caesar salad and it may or may not be good? This one's like
that's how I feel about all restaurants. At this point, I've become a pretty good cook. So now I know that that if I go to a mid-priced place, they're gonna fuck something up. So I either I just go fuck it, man. I'm just gonna go get eggs at a diner. So either I just go to diners and places where I am, or you got to go and you got to spend $100 on a steak somewhere because they're gonna do it right. So the middle zone with restaurants like a pretty much if you're paying $10 for a Caesar salad, it's not going to be great. I
like it with like a lot of like green, and I know like some places give you like it's like the white. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want this. I don't want it. I don't want
the rind. I want the green.
Yeah. And so Hex, I don't know. They do a pretty good Caesar.
They rock the Caesar. Yeah, so what do you put on the Caesar? Just go straight Caesar.
I've done chicken before, but
fuck it.
It's
just one of those things.
It's just so good on its own.
Caesar salad. Whoever invented the Caesar salad figured it out.
Uh-huh.
And that's it. That's done. Done deal.
It's hard to make a good Caesar.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to have one dish that'll hold up over like an extensive period of time.
It's
and
so
Caesar
good.
salad has done that. Yeah. Like if you have the choice Caesar salad, house salad, you obviously go Caesar salad. That's not even it's not even a question.
So you said this is your second time in Vegas?
Second time in Vegas. So last time I came here, just tried to play a bunch of shows off strip. I was like, let me find shitty little bars, do shows, try to meet real people that are from here. And we did that, and they were fine. This time I'm playing a bunch of other people's shows in town. Playing at Hollywood tonight. I got something, I can't remember where I am, the next couple days. So I'm playing a bunch of on-strip stuff, trying to make some relationships out here.
Cool.
But I just feel like a tourist. Usually I go to places and I try to stay with people that live there so I can figure out what the town is,
Right, yeah.
Come out here and I'm just a tourist the whole time, and it just feels weird. I don't know.
Wait, so how long are you here for?
I'm kind of open. I'm hanging through. I got to work with Chris Brown on Saturday.
Oh,
He's got a concert, and then I can go Sunday or Monday. I got to be in LA for a show on Monday.
Okay.
So I got to so I'm deciding whether to fly or rent a car and just drive. I prefer the drive part. So
yeah, it's a 4-hour drive. It's not too bad.
Yeah. So in a couple days, a couple other friends are coming here for a comedy festival, so I'm gonna hang with them for those days. So it should be a fun little trip.
Cool.
But I really don't know what Vegas is about. It just
seems like. Where did you stay the first time that you came here? Because you're staying.
You can say it.
I don't know if I should tell them because they might all come to you. No,
so I'm staying in one of the nicer establishments now. But so I stayed on the far end of the strip the first time.
Okay.
I stayed at the Stratosphere.
Okay, yeah.
Which is like
How
I
is
guess
that?
bottom. I guess it's. I don't know. I said it to somebody earlier, and they were like, "What?" They started flipping tables. They were so
Oh my
distraught.
God.
They're like, that's the bottom of the barrel. You may as well just slept in your car. And I was like, Jesus. And then I stayed the last time I was here. Like, I don't know. SLS was supposed to be like this big fancy new place last time I was here, so I stayed at SLS, and
I think I've been there before.
It felt like it was an older hotel that they just revamped. Is what it felt like. So I'm not sure if that's what it was or not. But both of them were like whatever. They're just a little far. Like this now, I'm in the middle. I'm at the Palazzo. But so is it
Palazzo? Yeah, you
Palazzo,
said it right,
Palazzo. Yeah. I'm Italian, so I try to Palazzo. So I'm closer to all the rest of the stuff. Like I started walking the wrong direction. I started walking. I guess that's north towards the Stratosphere. Yesterday.
Yeah, it
and
is.
I got 2 hotels away, and then there's nothing.
Yeah, right.
So I should have walked the other way.
Yeah.
Should have walked towards Caesars.
Yeah.
So this is a good end to be.
Yeah, no, this is a good spot.
But I can see and smell the airport. Yet it took us like 40 minutes to get from the airport to here in a cab.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't get it.
A lot of people say that it's like perfect because they're.
It's
on the
right
strip.
here.
Yeah.
I should have been able to walk that. I don't understand why it took me so
you
long.
probably walk fast.
It was like we had like 4 loops in the in the airport, and I'm like, is the cab tab running right now? Why are we doing circles? Is this how cabs work?
I was in Uber the other night going out to like this like little beach bar.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, this guy was taking like the longest route
Yeah.
on purpose.
Yeah.
Like he was fucking.
Oh,
doing
they'll
it on
fuck you if they can. Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing
and
it on purpose.
And you go, hey man, are you supposed to? Oh, it's all jammed up over there. No,
Yeah,
no,
and he was like revving his engine, like trying to race this other car. I'm like, you do know you have a passenger in the
that's
car.
funny.
But it
Uber
was really
races. That'd be a fun game show.
He was like in a Nissan Altima. There was no way.
Everybody in an Uber is a Nissan Altima. I don't know why that is.
That's so
That
funny.
is the number 1 Uber car. Nissan Altima.
My sister had one of those.
Yeah, they're good. They're good stuff. I don't want to go into weird. I don't want to geek out on cars. I was gonna give you Nissan Altima information. I'm not gonna do that. So what else? Okay, so what is? So I've never been. I don't think I've been to Tampa at all, actually.
Missing out.
Yeah, is it good?
Clearwater. Well, Tampa is. I say Tampa just because a lot of people don't know what Clearwater is.
Yeah, it's just like everywhere else. You say you're from the biggest place nearby.
Yeah. So I grew up in Clearwater, which is like a beach.
Yeah,
area.
in the Gulf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a really good childhood living there. I'm like so jealous. I'm like, I go back home and I'm like, it was funny. I called my husband last night and I was like crying. I was like, I don't want to leave.
I don't want to go.
I miss my family, my dog.
Oh wow! Do you guys don't have anything? You don't have any dogs? You don't have any?
We have a small dog with us here in Vegas, but my parents are watching my other dog that I got way before him and I got together.
Yeah.
But she's a little aggressive.
Well,
so
okay. To whom?
Well,
to what?
It's weird. Like she's a psychopath. Like if I'm around in the house, she will literally like attack anybody.
Just whoever.
Yeah, like my parent, like my mom's like, oh, come over here, and she said my name.
Yeah.
And my dog Ruby was just like, like.
Started.
Yeah, and she's like, don't you growl at me.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's got like this really weird thing, and like she does like weird stuff, like she'll like pee on the bed that I'm sleeping on. Like she's marking her territory.
Yeah, she owns you. That's what's happened. She thinks she owns you. Yeah.
She's a
I think
psycho.
I think there's a lot of, and I try to talk about this a little bit on stage, but I think people try to deny this a little bit. I think we're not treating our dogs like dogs. I think that's our biggest problem. Like I have a dog now. I never had a dog, so I didn't have like a lot of experience. So I just based it on whatever. And you can kind of have your dog, have whatever personality you have if you're doing it right. But like I meet people whose dogs like really just don't get that they're dogs. Like I was with a girl once, and the dog, we were having our little intimate thing, and the dog tried to attack me. It came up and bit me.
Oh my God.
on my dick. Like I really think our dogs want to fuck us. That's what I think. I think my dog thinks that eventually we're gonna hook up. She has no idea.
My little
that I put her in the friend
guy,
zone.
Rudy.
Yeah. Rudy and Ruby, those are the two dogs?
Yeah, and I did not do that on
ridiculous.
purpose. They're both rescues, so it's so weird.
Oh, you just kept the names?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But Rudy, he's so weird. Like, I'll do like webcam stuff at home.
Yeah.
And like he likes to be in the same room as me.
Sure.
He doesn't want to be like on me, but he just wants to be in the same room as me. So I let him in the room. And he has a crate, and the door was open to the crate.
Sure.
I thought he was in there.
Yeah.
I'm doing my webcam show, and like out the corner of my eye, I just see him staring at me, and I'm just like, okay, this is not right. I'm like, you need to go. And then like I put him outside, and my husband was like, dude, he sat by the door the whole time waiting for you to come out.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, he's a creep. I'm telling you. They don't know. I think our dogs really don't know. My dog, after a girl leaves, my dog will come up and she'll kiss me on all the spots that the girl kissed me on. She's trying to make it happen. She has no idea I put her in the friend zone. She has no clue.
Yeah,
I was with somebody once, and then so I basically have 3 dog sex stories. I didn't realize this is bad. I was with somebody once, and this dog came in behind me and started tossing my salad. And do you know what an Italian Greyhound is?
Yes,
Okay,
I had one.
Italian Greyhound has a nose. It looks like a baby anteater, right?
Yeah.
So if you had to design a dog to tongue your asshole, that's what it would look like. God would put that on the earth to tongue your asshole, and then run away fast if you're going to try to tell him to stop. So he's in there, and he's like 6 pounds, he's like frail. So I grab his. Now the girl doesn't know yet, so I grab him by the snout and I just try to guide him out, just gently, and he was like, "Nah, son," and he went right back in. And the worst part was, it felt amazing. So like I didn't really want it to end, but I didn't want to get caught, you know?
Right, you didn't want her to.
Yeah, because if I got caught, then I was gonna lose the tongue and the vagina. I was trying to mitigate risk. So at the moment, I could keep vagina.
Yeah.
Lose tongue.
Lose the tongue.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot. Like a lot of guys like getting their salad tossed.
Yeah. Now in my 20s, I was inviting that, but in my 30s, it's getting. I don't have as much control over most of the parts of my body anymore. I don't want there to be any accidents. I don't want anything to happen. I can't do it.
That's so funny.
So, yeah. But yeah, why? Yeah, no. What do you mean you've heard? I feel like you.
I've had like a couple guys on set. They're like, "Oh, are you okay with like tossing my salad?" I'm like, at first I didn't like.
I love that that's like, also an industry term. I thought that was just a jailhouse term.
No, like they say.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and this was like when I first got in the industry, so I wasn't like, I didn't even know what it meant.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And they're like,
you're like, I love fucking Caesar salads. Yes.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yes.
Like, who says that? Okay. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then like the guy like literally takes my head.
Yeah.
And puts I was like, oh my god, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like one time a guy didn't even ask me, and he just like put my face there, and I was like, no.
He just sat on it.
No, I was like.
No, he just cranked it. Oh shit. Yeah.
So yeah, it's an industry term, but.
Industry term, jailhouse term. It's funny that we haven't come up with another way to call it. I only know that one way.
I don't even know but why is it called toss the salad?
You know, I don't know how these things get started.
I don't know either.
I am not a sex historian. I cannot tell you where that term comes from. I can't even gauge where that would have come from.
Like,
yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, like how would you even?
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is a salad spinner. You know, and maybe that's the most effective technique is to spin the salad with your tongue. But I can tell you don't have that kind of skill set, so I do know that.
Like toss your salad, you would think like maybe
right.
with like your finger,
right.
but like not like going in,
or
just
the salad spinner.
Yeah, or something. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, now everybody's Googling right now. Where does toss your salad come from? And I don't think Google knows either.
Yeah, right.
You think that's a question I can ask Alexa? Alexa, where does tossing your salad come from?
She's gonna be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you mean. And then she'll just shut down. She's like, I'm not into this
Would you
bullshit.
ask your mother that? That's what she would say. I've had her say that.
She said that to you? Would you ask your mother that?
I'm gonna ask her that, but I was like, I said something and she's like, would you speak to your mother with that mouth or something like that? I was like,
yeah, I get mad at Alexa. Okay. So you have an Alexa?
Well, I have Siri.
I had to change. Oh, see, I don't know how to use Siri. I fuck with Alexa, and I had to change her name. I had to change her name because
you can change your name.
Yeah, she can be Amazon or she can be Echo. So I changed her to Echo because Alec Baldwin kept telling my bitch to do things.
What?
Because the commercial comes on, he's like, Alexa, pull up, and then she does his stuff, and I was like, fuck you, Alexa, you're mine. So I had to change her to Echo. But then now Echo, for some reason, you can't hear it. And the other problem is it's a speaker, right? So then, so if you have the music cranking, you can't yell over the music. So now I'm in my apartment being like, Echo, play the new DJ Khaled song. And it's just
but you can't give her a different name. Like you can't name her Sabrina or something.
That I was really excited about. Yeah, I was just call it just like I don't know, my bitch.
My bitch.
Yeah. Excuse me, bitch. Can you tell me what's the weather today, bitch? No, you can't do that, unfortunately. I wish you could.
Oh,
I bet they'll let Google do that. Maybe.
They'll probably let them do something like that.
The Google one's out now.
Technology.
They're all. I mean, and now it's at the point where it's starting to read my mind. So it's like we're done for. We're pretty close to we got self-driving cars.
Yeah.
It's over.
I don't know how. By the time 2020, we're gonna be driving fucking on the air or something.
Yeah, nobody's figured that out yet. Nobody's figured out the hoverboard. Isn't that fucked up?
We're gonna do that though.
Isn't that fucked up that somehow we didn't I don't know, because we can't even have drones. People are getting upset about drones. People are crashing their drones every day. I had a drone that I crashed. So just knowing that, I know that there's no way that I should have a hover car. I'll kill I already drive like an asshole. I'll kill every person if I have a hover car that's not. Because you can't look in all the directions.
Yeah. Because
if you have a hover car, you would need it to have, the window on the bottom too. Because you need to see where you got to go down at some point, right? So you got to see what's below you. How many blind spots do you have in a hover car?
Everywhere.
It's every spot is a blind spot.
Yeah, it needs to be completely windows everywhere.
Yeah, it's just a ball. Just a big ball, like the glass elevator in Willy Wonka.
And Willy Wonka.
Yeah, did you get my references? Can I ask you how old you are? Is that industry
24.
secrets? Okay, I'm not sure if those are industry secrets.
No.
Even in my industry, people try to pretend like they're younger. They're like, "How old are you?" Well, I can play 23 to 32. Well, no, how old are you? Well, I was 27 in this role. No, how old are you?
I get a lot of fans I think my birthday is actually on my Twitter, and so when it's my birthday, I'm like, oh,
you're blowing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I guess another site has my birthday
as
as
a different day.
Yeah, in April. So
really?
Everyone's wishing me a happy birthday in March,
That's
and then
how
April they're like, "Oh, happy birthday, Ariana." I'm like, "You guys know you just wished me a fucking happy birthday, right? I'm not getting older."
That was my buddy's trick. He changed. This is what he said in his head. He's a lunatic, but he changed his birthday on Facebook because he was like, "Look, if you're my real friend, you'll know when my birthday is. I don't want Facebook telling people when my birthday is." So then he would just he had his birthday 6 months from his birthday, just so that he could have disdain for the people that wished him the wrong birthday.
Right.
It's a sadistic thought.
Oh my god. He'd be like, "Fuck, I have no friends."
Right. Well, yeah. Also, what? Yeah. Who are the people that are friends with him to continue to be friends with a guy who changed his birthday deliberately to be hateful?
To be hateful.
You're like, you know what? I don't need to know when your birthday is anymore. We're not even friends anymore. It's fine. That's funny. So yeah. So what the hell? So we're in a basement of a convention center here.
I didn't even know. Well, I knew driving past all this was here, but I didn't know that it was
Yeah, I asked him what the quietest place, because I was having some trouble where I was in the room with some noises and some things. So I said, "What's the quietest place?" Concierge told me down here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I interviewed Jocelyn Stone earlier today, and she said AVN used to be right there.
Yeah, my husband told me that they used to hold the conventions here because it was,
actually a convention center.
Yeah.
Yeah. From what I understand, it's not, and now it's in more
Hard Rock.
Yeah, now it's in more like meeting spaces as opposed to a big convention center space or whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get every time I go in there, I get a little confused. But then I'm there for a day, and I'm like, okay, I know where I'm at now. But I don't. For some reason, it seems a little bit smaller every time.
The event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just because everyone's stealing porn.
Either maybe.
And our industry's not where it used to be.
Yeah, I don't know what I can give away. I've never purchased porn in my life.
Really?
No, I just stack up the 2-minute videos.
Oh no.
Is that wrong?
Well, I mean, I used before I got in the industry, I used to go on pornhub and stuff.
Yeah.
But now that I've been in the industry, I'm like, I don't know. Because mean, fans have to pay for our
Yeah,
porn
right.
for us to work.
Right.
And if they don't pay for
Right.
it, then
This
we're
actually,
fucked.
what's funny is this is exactly how I was with comedy shows. When I first got into comedy, and I was, you know, and when you start, maybe, I don't know if it's like this in porn, when you start in comedy, you're not that good. You're just not good. So you're like, whatever. So I was like, nobody pays for comedy. I like made a big, like social stand in my head. And then after a couple years, and then eventually, like, the shows were really good, and I was having great people on, and I was like, I need to start charging people for these shows.
Yeah, right? I know.
So it's I think it's the same thing.
A lot of people are like, I think now because it is like you can pirate stuff and all that. So, like, I ran into this issue the other day with a fan, and he was just like giving me a bunch of crap or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like you have to pay for these things.
He was hijacking stuff and then telling you about it?
No, he wasn't hijacking it, but like, I mean, I get some guys on webcam that are like, oh yeah, like I watched your video on Pornhub today, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's cool, like you got off, but at the same time you didn't pay for my porn. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I'd rather just like not know about it, I guess. Right, yeah. That's but, where I mean, I think that's where, you know, people, I mean, I know that my true fans are paying for it. Yeah. But then I know there's people that are just watching it.
And that's always a debate with all the entertainment stuff, right? Like you know, I was looking at, I don't know, a couple older movies and such and so forth, and like all these musicians who are great musicians who have become actors because they actually get paid, because people actually go and pay for movies, and people stopped paying for music. So it became a more difficult thing. So it was like there was no money in the industry, and it's like, you know, and then I always have debates with comedians where it's like, you know, are you selling out if you give your product you know, to this outlet and then they distribute it, or should you be doing it yourself, or should it be free and just get the material out there? So it's like it's just this loop that kind of doesn't have an answer. It's like it's a tough thing. But at the end of the day, we all want to be compensated for what we're doing. Right. So exactly. It's like, yeah. No, I get it. But it's just like, for instance, like it seems like every year it gets smaller at AVN. Yeah. And you know, it's just like our industry's not where it used to be. I mean, my husband has been in the industry for, I think, like 16 years now. And he was telling me, like, when we first got together, that girls were getting paid stupid money to do, like, boy-girl. That's not a good thing to tell you. It's like, oh, yo, you have no idea how good it used to be. But, like, I mean, even, like, 4 years. I moved in the industry 4 years, and it's even dropped. Yeah. Really? Yeah. See, now I thought drastically. I thought it was. You know, this is kind of why I gravitated toward the idea of this podcast. Was I really think porn and comedy are similar, and just in a lot of ways. I think it's the same size industry. I think it's got a lot of crossover, and I think it's the same kind of thing where if you just hang in the industry for 10 years, you're like a veteran. So I thought every year you're in the industry, you're worth more money. And with comedy, it kind of, the comedy clubs have paid the same for almost 40 years. The amount of money you get paid for a spot is like a couple bucks. I'm not gonna out all the comedians what it is, and it's been the same at all the comedy clubs forever. So I thought in porn, if you just stay in the industry, you get a raise. Well, I mean, if you do like I've been in the industry 4 years, but now I've kind of, a lot of people think I've retired, and I haven't. I've just been a little bit more strategic with it, and I'm not just giving away all over the place, right? Yeah. I mean, I just shot 2 you know, exclusive scenes last year. Yeah. That were big scenes that, you know, girls come in the industry and they're shooting it left and right. Yeah. And you kind of need to wait a few years before you shoot it, because yes, you get more money, but at the same time, it's like you're branding yourself too. Right. You don't want to oversaturate yourself. Yeah. And so a lot of people are like, oh, you've quit because you're married, or you've quit just in general. I'm like, no, I haven't quit. I'm being smart. Yeah. There is something to be said, like, and I don't know if this is a weird thing to do, but with sort of my porn tastes are like anything new. Like if it's somebody that I've never seen, it's like, oh, gee, who is this person? Or right. What's their thing? You know. So it's like if you don't see somebody for a long time and then you start popping up again, there really is like this demand that gets built up. Because like, well, I need to click on that. Yeah, like last year, I think I might have shot maybe, I don't know, a total of 10 scenes for the whole year. No shit. And that's why a lot of people are like, you know, they weren't seeing any of my stuff. Yeah. I can't control when the movies come out. So I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, no, I just shot like 10 scenes. Yeah.
but they're not gonna drop until next year or something like that.
You got to be like Daniel Day-Lewis. You got to be strategic. You got to go live in France, make shoes,
Make
and
shoes.
then every 5 years come out and you put a performance that's so hot you win the Oscar. Done. That's how you do it. That's smart.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've just been trying to brand myself a little bit, and my husband's very good on like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he came in here with a bag of branded materials.
Yeah, he did.
I was like, oh,
He's
this guy's
so
killing it.
Funny. So yeah, those are condoms for
I
talent
thought
testing.
they were wet naps. I'll be honest. I thought they were wet naps.
Yeah, no, they kind of look like
funny.
that. Yeah, we get tested every 14 days, and one of the girls that does the testing here, she just got to this location, and we're just we do a lot of the swinger parties and everything, so we're just kind of like spreading the word, like, oh, go get tested and everything, because we don't play with people that aren't tested.
Yeah, bring your test and let's do this.
Yeah, or we're gonna have to wear a condom.
Right.
But I'm not used to being, on a thing with condom on it and everything, and so I get a little irritated, so. Well, down there.
Yeah. No, it's not fun. Yeah, everybody hates condoms.
But you should just get tested anyway, so that you know, like, your status.
Well, that's what. And
you're not dirty.
And that's what I was saying to him. Was I used to have a joke. It never really hit. But the idea was that, like, I'd rather be with a porn star, somebody who's tested every 2 weeks. Are you kidding?
Mm-hmm.
These girls just walking around the streets in like Albuquerque. These girls aren't getting tested.
Yeah.
When was the last time this girl in Dayton got tested? It's been years. You know what I mean? Much rather be with somebody who knows the status.
Yeah.
That should be on our Facebook accounts.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's good. I mean, our industry doesn't there's no there's no law stating that we have to get tested.
Yeah.
But
Contracts, right?
Right. Like the companies that we shoot for.
Yeah.
It is you have to
submit paperwork.
Yeah,
that's your paperwork.
Yeah, you have to be tested and everything. So it's very safe, and I think a lot of people don't know how often we do get tested and all that. But yeah, I'd rather. I mean, I think that's maybe why a lot of porn stars and people that are in the adult industry that maybe are directors or something prefer to be with a girl that's in porn or a guy that's in porn.
Well, it's not even that. Honestly, that whole thing is you fuck who's nearby. That's just that's always what dudes have done.
They understand the industry and everything. They know it's a job.
Yeah.
They know it's not like you're catching feelings for people and all that stuff.
Well, there's that, but then also the guy who works at the accounting office fucks the girl in the accounting office. It's just kind of what happens. If you work at Applebee's, you're gonna fuck somebody from Applebee's.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's true. You're gonna surround yourself.
You're surrounded with those people. You fuck those people. That's human nature.
I think I did that at a few jobs before I got into porn. I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings before I got into porn.
Yeah. You fucked somebody at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, I did.
Was his name?
Know what his name was?
Wild? No,
Dan.
I guess his name was Dan. Oh, hell yeah.
I'm not even kidding you. I swear to God.
We took over in the 80s. I couldn't be in a class in elementary school where there wasn't another Dan. I was Dan F for most of my life.
Dan F.
Dan F. Yeah.
Oh
Actually, I was an asshole for the first 4 or 5 grades in school where I was Daniel, and my family still calls me Daniel. So a teacher would just try to change my name to Dan or Danny, and I would see the teacher after class, and I'd be like, "Excuse me, Mrs. Hughes, my name is Daniel."
My name is Daniel.
And they would be like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm very serious. That's my name. You can't just change my name. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just change somebody's name.
Yeah.
Call him Dan or Danny." But then I remember, but we were in baseball, and I was Daniel, and then then this kid Billy Lear. I don't know why I'm saying this. His government name. And so Billy Lear had a brother named Danny Lear. I love these two kids. They're great at baseball, and they're real fun dudes. But there was another kid on the team, and Danny was our little mascot because he was 4 years younger than us, and he was just hanging out. He's a little fun kid hanging out, and because Danny was so cool, one of the other guys on my team was like, "Why are you Daniel? Don't you want to be like Danny?" And I was like, "No." And then he I think he called me a faggot. I think that's what happened. I think that's how it ended. And I was like, "All right, I could probably be like a Dan or something. Maybe I'll figure it out." But I remember that moment specifically. He basically called me a loser for being Daniel. And I was like, No, I'm not. The most Daniel around.
The most Daniel.
The most Daniel.
That's funny.
All right. Well, listen. I don't know. We've been on here for almost an hour. And I know we have to. We have your wonderful husband here who's being patient and checking Twitter or whatever over there. So I feel bad. Let's get him. Let's. So we're gonna get him on here. So we're gonna get an episode with him. So I guess plug whatever. Do you want to plug some stuff?
Do you
want people to follow you? Do you wanna,
so you guys can follow me on Twitter at Ariana Marie XXX, Instagram at Ariana Marie 15_. And
now what's that? Where does that come from?
The underscore.
What's the backstory? 15_, yeah.
Oh, well, 15.
Somebody stole the account before you?
Well, okay. Like when I was making my account, I didn't know anything about branding, so I was just like, oh, let me just make Ariana Marie 15, and 15's my lucky number.
Okay.
And then that was taken, so I had to add an underscore.
Sure. Right.
So I'm an idiot.
Back when AOL was like Car Guy DF. That's my name, Car Guy DF.
So that's my Instagram, and then my website, arianamarie.com.
Great. Cool. Awesome. And then hopefully you'll continue to break my Twitter by retweeting stuff. We have your wonderful. Do you want to mention your wonderful assistant?
This is Dana. She's
so
awesome.
I gotta take it. We've been filming the whole thing. Where can we see? Are we on Periscope? What is this? Yeah. Okay, so we're not recording this. Okay, so if you saw it on Periscope, then you lucked in. If you didn't, then you suck. And yeah, so this is great. Porn Stars Are People. You obviously found out where to hear the podcast because you're on it. Are you on any other podcasts? Any other things coming up?
I have a feature dancing thing.
Oh yeah, where are you going? Where are you gonna be?
Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay.
That's at the end of the month. I just got a gig in Tampa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Killing it. So are you somewhere on the 25th and 26th? Something?
Of this month?
Yeah. Like next week? Are you somewhere next week? Okay.
I think.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, Shreveport. And then I think I have like something in Tulsa too.
Cool.
So
all the hot spots.
Busy.
Tampa, Shreveport, and Tulsa.
Yeah.
All the places everybody wants to visit.
Oh my god.
So thank you for being on this Porn Stars Are People podcast, episode 7. Will be followed up with the episode about your husband. I'm gonna get into the other half of the open relationship conversations, and I guess every guy in the world is trying to figure out how to convince our ladies to also be in an open relationship. So we're gonna get his secrets. So thank you so much. Subscribe, keep listening. Thank you so much. Bye.